Greetings folks, this video is all about the SJCAM SJ Gimbal 2. This is a handheld 3-axis brushless gimbal specifically designed for SJCAMs, but it will also work with GoPros up to GoPro 6, ThiEYE, Firefly cameras, anything that fits in the clamp. SJCAMs you can connect via the USB cable into a little port in the side there, and you can actually operate the camera using the gimbal buttons. But it still works perfectly fine with other cameras, even though you can't stop-start the camera via the gimbal buttons. Now I'll just show you. I'll turn it on, push and hold the button, levels out, turns the gimbal on and levels it up, and turns the camera on as well. You can see the camera's lit up there. Oh, you can see it on the front as well. So as you can see, it's beautifully stabilized in pitch, roll and yaw. It's at the moment it's set to follow the yaw. You can vary the speed of follow and the sensitivity of the following. You can have it follow the pitch. You can have it totally stabilized and only in one direction like that, or you can have it follow every angle there. So we've got roll, tilt and pan as well. And all I'm doing is pushing this button here, pushing it once for pan follow, twice for tilt follow, 3 times for no follow, 4 times for follow everything. We also have a joystick here that we can manually pan, tilt, and we can stop recording of the camera with this button here as well. We also have a trigger button on the front here. You can hold to momentarily change the mode that it's operating in. So that's in pan follow, and if I hold the trigger it goes totally stabilized. Very cool indeed, really nice little unit. Push and hold the power button to turn everything off again. There we go, gone to sleep. We have some charging lights on the side here, charges with a USB-C port on the other side, and these buttons here indicate the charge level. Also have a tripod mount socket there and on the bottom as well. So I'll show you the packaging. Very nicely packaged, very safe. So here's this really nice moulded plasticky foam packaging box, and we get the little manual here. We also get the USB-C charging cable into USB, and we get the little connection cable for the USB-C for the SJ8 and the mini USB for the SJ7 and SJ6. Now these gimbals used to cost hundreds of dollars, but now it's down to, from Banggood, about $90 US, which is just amazing. I'll go through some of the specs. You've got tilt rotation of 320 degrees, roll rotation 320 degrees, and pan of 640 degrees. This is using the pan button. In the settings you can set up the speed of pannings. I'll show you all of that through the iOS app as well. Got it set to really slow at the moment. And you can operate it via Android or iOS app, although the iOS app is not as fully functioned as the Android app, I believe, which is a pity, but I'll show you some of the features in that anyway. So we open up the SJCAM app, and instead of connect camera we go connect gimbal. Connects via Bluetooth, as long as you've got Bluetooth turned on. Connection succeeded. So now we have joystick control. You can see that's operating the joystick, panning and tilting. Can recenter it, calibrate it, which is a bit like going through the calibration process for a flight control board. You hold the gimbal in 5 different orientations and it recalibrates it. You can change the different modes. Yaw follow is the sort of set standard one that you would use most. Pitch follow, all lock, which is what happens when you hold down the lever on the front. I'll show you that. Yaw follow, and then hold the and it changes to all lock, back to your follow, or all follow, which is where it follows every movement you make. Settings, you can change the speed, the follow speed, the joystick speed, the dead area before it starts following. Pitch and roll trims to centre it up nicely. You can reverse the pitch and the yaw. Motor options. Motor torsion, I haven't messed with that at all. I'm not going to do that. As the firmware version, I guess. Shows the battery level. And this is the interesting one, motion lapse. And this is where the iOS app falls down, I think. What you can do with motion lapse is put in waypoints. Move the camera to a different point. Say panning across. Putting in another waypoint. Tilt up. Another waypoint. Over the other side, stick in another waypoint. Then we go next, and you would expect now you'd be able to put in the time that the movement is going to take, but you can't, unfortunately. All you can do is go back, which just gets rid of what you've done, or hit begin. Then the camera will automatically go through that movement sequence that you programmed in. Unfortunately, you can't save what you've just put in. You can only sort of play it once, and you can't alter the time that I can see. And I assume you can do that in the Android app, but not yet the iOS app. But I'm sure these things will come with firmware updates. So there it is. Now that pops up with this before it's actually finished. It's still moving back to the last waypoint. But anyway, hit confirm, then it's done. And really, I'd like to be able to save that motion so that you could repeat it and adjust the time for the whole movement to take. Anyway, also with settings you can save presets. I've saved one called Cinematic, which slows down all the movements, all the joystick movements for nice, slow and sort of fluid movements. The defaults are a little bit faster than the minimum of 10 degrees per second. And we can go back to normal, and we're back to the default settings there. That's about it for the app. As I said, I'd like to see a little bit more control over the motion lapse. That's a really, really powerful setting that I'd like to have a bit of fun with. It's a very impressive gimbal, very, very smooth. Love the operation. Start, stop the camera with the power button there. So let's take it out for a walk and see how it performs.
I reckon if you hit that prop, you'd get a little chip like that. If you hit that prop, that's it. You would not be still flying on it. I'm going to put two wheels. Two
Well, I've got a chunk out of there, that's all. Yeah, gimbal.
Yeah.
Nothing. Control it. Take the solid air out of it.
Yeah, that was always there.
I don't know what that would have been.
This camera is the SJ8 Pro. I have it on 4K, 30 frames a second with the gyro stabilization on, and on the SJCAM SJ Gimbal 2. It's about as stabilized as a camera can get, I think. Walking down along the Barwon River in Geelong. It's a bit overcast and drizzly, unfortunately. Nice temperature.